Welcome to the Black and White Messages. This is your pastor Matthews George from the First Baptist Church of Blythe here in California. Even among us believers, I have seen a tendency to misunderstand what sin is about. And when we do this, we minimize the dreadful nature of sin and cheapen the grace of God that rescues us from sin. First, we minimize sin by thinking that sin is about behavior and behavior alone. But the Bible teaches that sin is a heart issue. Jesus said, "From the heart comes all kinds of evil." That is why we need God's grace. We can run from certain situations and locations or even relationships or do some behavioral modification. But we have absolutely no ability to clean our heart. The second thing about sin is that we minimize sin by thinking that sin is breaking the rules. Yes, on the periphery, sin looks like it's breaking the rules. But more than breaking the rules, sin is breaking a relationship with God. So we must look at every sin as our attempt to insert what pleases me rather than what pleases God. Every sin undermines God's existence and God's rightful place in our heart. So two things. Sin is always a matter of our thoughts, our motives, and the choices of our heart. And sin grieves God, and it is an assault on God's rightful place in our heart. And that is why we read in Psalm 51, where David, after he committed adultery and murder, he cries out to God. He says, "Against you and you only have I sinned and done what is evil in your sight." So no way David is trying to minimize the damage he did to Bathsheba or Uriah or even his own family and people. David is confessing the core of what sin is about. Sin, again, is an assault on God's goodness, love, and faithfulness. Sin is a heart issue that can only be healed with God's grace and forgiveness. No amount of behavioral modifications or therapy can cure sin. Sin is personal and it needs forgiveness. And that is why Jesus suffered and died, so that you and I would receive grace and forgiveness. This morning, if you are struggling with sin, go to Jesus to receive forgiveness and grace. Have a blessed week. Amen.